Hey everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer and welcome to a new video. This is not going to be a playthrough video. This is an introduction to a new war game that I have just ordered. My book came in. I'm hoping to get some games in, but before I get the games in, I got to make a character. What is the game? Well, it's called Deth Wizards, D-E-T-H, Deth Wizards. Deth is the land that you are originally from, and you were banished because you had this interest in the dead or bringing them back. This is a book about necromancers getting their revenge on the population. You will take on the role of a necromancer, raising the dead or digging them up and repairing them and bringing them back to life, and then taking them into battle against the living. What's really interesting about it, well, there's a few things that are interesting about it. One, it's a solo game, so you're going to be playing this. You can play it competitively, but you can play it solo, which is what I'm interested in. You control a necromancer who is technically sort of immortal. It's mainly the undead that you're going to be taking into battle that you need to be worried about. But when your undead are destroyed, not killed because technically they're already dead, but when they're killed, you can get more. You can even, the enemies that you kill, there are abilities that allow you to take those heroes that you defeat and make them your undead minions. It's an interesting idea for a war game. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. Again, Deth Wizards, I will put a link in the video description below where you can go get more information, and you can buy it if you like it. You can get it in a print and PDF version, or you could just get the PDF rules if that's what you want. There's also some add-ons that you can order, like some cards and things like that, but not required, just extras to make your game easier. I am going to point the camera down in just a moment, and I'm going to make my character following the rules, and then in the next video I'm going to take that character to the tabletop with his undead minions, and we're going to go create some chaos. All right, let's go make a character. All right, I have got 3 sheets printed out. These can be found on the the Deth Wizards main webpage. And again, there'll be a link in the video description below. The first one is creating your necromancer. And the second one is recording your necromancer's powers. And the third one is tracking your necromancer minions, the undead that you'll recruit. So the first thing I want to do, I haven't come up with a name yet. I'm not going to do that right here, but I'm going to ponder on it because, you know, a necromancer needs a really good name. The first thing I need to do is pick their base stats. So your necromancer has movement, pretty self-explanatory, offense and defense, resist, and necromantic energy. Now the movement's pretty self-explanatory. Your offense is how many dice, this is a D10, how many D10 you're going to roll. The defense is the number that on your opponent, for example, you would roll your offense dice. The defense number is what you have to beat. So if someone's attacking my necromancer, they'll have a defense bonus. And then the resist, I believe, is related to magic. And I've read it, but I cannot recall how that works. Resist. This is the target number that must be equal to or exceeded by necromantic powers used against this minion. The minions also have, they have the same numbers, and they also have what's called a durability, which is kind of like their health points. So they have a resistance to magic as well. So your necromancer is going to be able to resist a certain amount of magical energy if you put them in danger. All right, so there are 3 options here, and they all have a variation of either movement, offense, defense, or necromantic energy. All 4 have the same resist values. I want the fastest move is 6, the 2 slowest are 5s. A 1-inch difference isn't that big of a deal to me. I really want the offense value, which the offense value is what you're going to roll. It says this is the number of D10 dice you roll. So you want a high number. You want to be rolling a lot of dice. The base stats of the one with 6, the other 2 only offer 3. So you're rolling 6 dice versus 3. So you have a higher likelihood of achieving the number you want. What is the downside? The downside is you only get 9 necromantic energy, and this is the energy needed to cast necromantic spells. The other two have 13 and 17. So what you give up in offensive ability, you more than make up in the spell ability. So I don't know. 6 dice versus 3 is a big jump, but these have 5 more. This is almost double. So I tell you what, not having played this game before, I'm going to go with the maximum amount of necromantic energy, which is a movement of 5, the option, an offense of 3, a defense of 5, resist of 4, and the necromantic energy is 17. Now I'm writing these in pen. I probably will transfer this sheet to my iPad so I can track the things and use my digital pen to erase, because this box is for for tracking how much necromantic energy you have left. So you would want to use a pencil for this. All right, so after you choose your stats, you have to pick a legacy, and there are 6 of them. There is Dread Horde Master, War Reaper, Controller, Monster Master, Spirit Caller, and Stitcher. I think that's it, yeah. And all 6 of them have their own unique abilities. They all have limits on, now, the minions, the undead that you are going to recruit to fight for you, they have a value, and that value is like their cost. So, for example, let me just look up a minion. A Wraith, for example, has a rating of 3. It's the rating value, a rating of 3. A Flesh Golem has a rating of 4. Now, if you go down to like a skeleton has a rating of 1. So you could buy a lot of skeletons. There's a chart on page 21 that lists all of the minions and their rating, and they also have a type, a Rattler, Spirit would be like a ghost, a Shambler, and that keyword comes into play with some of the spells and attacks that will go up against these minions. But, so now that you understand there's a rating, the thing you need to understand is that all 6 of the legacies have different things that they can do when it involves that rating. For example, the Dread Horde Master says you can increase the maximum rating of undead you may bring to any scenario by 4. The maximum rating is initially 15. So 15 value of a mix of skeletons and zombies or whatever. But if you get the Dread Horde Master, you can increase that by 4 up to 19. That is the pool of soldiers that you can pull from. Initially, when you start playing this game solo, you're only going to be able to bring a rating of 7 minions to the table. The rest will be held in reserve. So you can see that Dread Horde Master, and I think maybe it gives you a wider variety of monsters to recruit since you have a higher rating number. War Reaper, you can increase the offense and defense of your Necromancer by 1. So you get to, a War Reaper empowers your Necromancer. The Controller says is the most feared. What does it have? Controllers treat their minions as disposable. So they don't really have a limit on their rating. That's interesting. And they do have 2 special abilities. All the legacies most of them have a special ability. I think there's one that doesn't. The one that does not is, well, which one was it? Oh, it's the Monster Master. Does not have a unique necromantic. The Monster Master can only recruit monsters with a rating of 3 or 4. No 1 and 2. You don't get any of those base skeletons and zombies. 3s and 4s only. Spirit Caller can only recruit undead of the spirit type, which makes sense. And finally, the Stitcher doesn't have a limit, but whenever they activate, they may choose a single undead they see within 12 and restore durability. So you can use your magic to enhance one of your undead. I have read the rule book, and the one I want to go with, initially I wanted to go with a Monster Master, but I didn't like that rating of 3 or 4 limitation. So ultimately, it came down to either the Dread Horde Master or the Controller. The Spirit Caller doesn't really appeal to me. The Stitcher's interesting, but I think I'm going to go with the Dread. Well, I think I'm going to go with the Dread Horde Master. So I'm going to write. For my Necromantic Legacy, I'm doing Dread Horde Master. And he has one special ability called Corpse Bomb. I'm not gonna read it out here. Instead, when I play the game, you'll find out what happens. Okay, now that I've chosen my my legacy, if you remember, I increased the rating in the maximum rating of undead you may bring to any scenario by 4. So I could bring 11. Since initially the limit is 7, that means I could bring up to 11. However, the Dread Horde Master is prohibited from starting with or ever recruiting any undead with a rating greater than 2. So I can only recruit 1s and 2s. No 3s and 4s, which are the high-powered guys. This rule does not alter the number of the undead you can recruit. In addition, whenever one of your necromantic minions attacks an enemy within 1 inch of a different friendly necromantic minion, their offense is increased by 1. I will probably be playing this game solo, so I doubt that rule will come into effect, but it's good to know. All right. Advancement special abilities. Well, I'm trying to remember. I don't know about that part. What I'm going to do is that's probably going to come in with my necromantic powers. Advancement ability. Oh, I know what that means. Some of them get to do certain things, increase stats whenever one of their stats increases. So I don't think I have any special abilities for advancement on the Dread Horde. I do not.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.
So let's go over to another sheet. The necromantic. Let's go ahead and do some minions. Now, if you'll remember, I can only recruit 1s and 2s. So I want to go to this list, and it basically limits me to whites, skeletons down to whites. Anything below that, like gas to Death Knight, I cannot do. For this first game, I want to overwhelm my enemy. I don't really know what I'm doing with this game yet. I haven't played it. So I want to just overwhelm them. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a mix of ghouls and skeletons. I just want to overwhelm my enemy. I could bring some zombies. The 2s are expensive. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to write in skeleton. And the rating is 1. Durability is, you have to look that up. The skeleton durability is 9. The type is rattler. So they rattle when they walk. Their movement is 6. Offense is 4. Defense is 5. Resist is 4. And special abilities, nothing but bones. Skeletons are particularly difficult to permanently damage. Whenever this model suffers damage from an offense attack, reduce the damage by 1. So, offense attack, reduce damage by 1, -1. Okay, let's do a zombie. Zombies are always good. Let's do a zombie. Zombie is a rating of 1, a durability of 10. They are a shambler. Movement 4, they're slow. Offense 3, defense 3, resist 4. They have a special called Rotting In. When this model is reduced to 0 durability, if the damage that reduced its durability to 0 did not include at least 1 critical hit. There's a mechanic in here for critical hits. So if they're killed and it doesn't include at least 1 critical hit, then it's reduced to 1 durability and all further damage is ignored. So that's interesting. Can only be destroyed by a critical hit. At least 1, yeah. by a critical hit. That's good to know. And let's go ahead and get a ghoul. And that puts me with a feeder. So I've got 3 different types of bad guys here. A ghoul. A ghoul has a rating of 2, movement 7, offense 5, defense 3, resist 4, and a durability of 10. They have 2 special abilities. Scampering Claw. This model may climb without spending climb without extra movement. And Feasting Rejuvenation. If the model kills a hero, feeder, or shambler, it immediately heals 1d6. Kill hero, feeder, or shambler. And now in this case, since I'm playing solo, I probably won't be going up against undead, so it'll be the heroes that I have to kill. Kill hero plus 1d6 durability. And they can only go up to their maximum durability. So between these two, I've got 2, 3, 4. If I just bought a pair, one each of these, I'm at 4 rating. I can go up to 11. So what I can do is I can do 3 of each. 2, 3, 4. No, I can't. 2, 3, 4 times 3 will be 12. So I'm going to have to be down 1 skeleton. So I will have 3 ghouls, 3 zombies, and 2 skeletons. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. There's my minions. And I do have models for all of these. All right. And then finally, the last thing is the necromantic powers. Now, there are 3 spells that every necromancer gets, no matter which legacy you choose. But spells have a thing called cost, range, the targets, like what kind of targets can they pick, and the power dice. Some powers will have power dice. This is the number of dice the necromancer rolls against the enemy's resist. And then the effect. So there are 3 what they call universal. They are Dark Shield, Negative Bolt, and Restore Energy. And I'm not going to go over all these spells because, like I said, you're going to see them in action when I play the game. So I will have, and by the way, you get those 3, and then you get to pick any 3 from a list of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 24 new spell or different spells with their own costs. You get to pick 3 of those. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll have six powers. So I get Dark Shield, Negative Bolt, and Restore Energy. And just so you know, the Dark Shield, it sounds exactly what it is. You can use your necromantic energy. It has a cost of 1, so it costs 1 of your necromantic energy. It creates a momentary shield of dark energy, turning aside a lethal blow. The target is yourself. So that is a spell to protect yourself. Negative Bolt is an attack on a target. It has a range of 18, and it says a crackling line of draining energy innervates a being, robbing it of all life force. So if you achieve at least 1 hit, the target suffers 1d10 damage. If the necromancer achieves at least 3 successes, the target suffers an additional 1d6. And if it kills or destroys its target, the necromancer gains 3 necromantic energy. So you can get your energy back. And then finally, Restore Energy. The necromancer draws energy from one of their minions. It has a cost of 0. You target a friendly minion, and it says that model is removed from play, and the necromancer gains 3 energy per rating. So if I decide to remove a skeleton, a rating of 1, I get 3 energy back. Those 3 spells everybody gets. I've read all 24 of these, but now I really want to go over them with a fine-tooth comb and decide which ones I want. So I'm not going to make that decision right here. Instead, when I play the game, I will explain the 3 spells that I have chosen. And we've got one more thing. So your necromancer has to hide out somewhere, because when you go and attack the friendly townsfolk, they tend to get heroes up and running to try to hunt you down and kill you. So you got to have a place to hide. And for that, you have what's called a starting lair. Now, the lair is just on paper. You do not need it physically as a model like you would need miniatures. It's just in your mind. There's a cave, a hovel, and sewers. 3 options. All right. What does one versus the other help give you? Well, the cave can hold a maximum rating of 28 undead. So you just have 28 ratings roaming around in there. That is your pool that you can pull from. Your hovel has a maximum undead rating of 20, and your sewers has 25. So the cave will hold the most, and the hovel will hold the least. The difference is there will be random times where the heroes and the townsfolk will attack your lair, which can remove minions from your pool. And when they do that, they're attacking the defense of your hovel or your lair. So the cave has a defense of 2, the hovel has a defense of 4, and the sewer has a defense of 3. When you get to a certain point, you can upgrade your lair. A cave can go to a dungeon, the hovel can go to a tower, and the sewers can go to a labyrinth. And those give you special abilities and things like that. So for my first one, given that I'm the guy who can have a more higher number, I need to have the most I can get. So I'm going to go with a cave. I need to come up with a name for it. I don't have a name. It's a lair name. The lair type is cave. And advanced, it's not advanced yet. The maximum undead is 28 rating. Impedimenta. These are things that you can do to upgrade your lair. I'm not going to get into that right here because that's how you upgrade. When I get a certain number of impedimenta, I can upgrade my lair. So right now, the maximum impedimenta for a cave, when your cave has 4+, it becomes a dungeon. I don't know what the maximum is. Maximum impedimenta. This is the maximum number of impediment your lair may have. Oh, there it is. 10, 6, and 8. So my max is 10. And those are, like I said, that's a value point system that you can use to upgrade your lair. The cave has 10, hovel has 6, and the sewers has 8. So cave has the highest rating and the highest number of impedimenta. All right, and that is it for my character. Now, the next time I join you will be for a game, and I will have my Necromancer's name picked out. I'll have a name for my lair, a suitably evil lair. I will have some minions ready to go, and I will have 3 additional necromantic powers to bring to the game. All right, that's all I got. Again, the game is called Deth Wizards. It is by Adam Loper, who is Uncle Adam of Tabletop Minions YouTube channel, and Vincent Venturella. I will put links to this information in the video description so you can go check it out. And please join me in my next Deth Wizards game. It will not be very long, maybe a few days to get it set up. I do have to paint my mini. I do have one of the 6 miniatures that they sell. They had 6 custom miniatures created for this game. I bought one that just appealed to me, and my good friend Brian Swift, I hope he doesn't mind me giving his name out there. Brian graciously 3D printed it for me on his resin printer because I'm allergic to resin and I can't do it. So I have a new minion just for this game that I'm really excited to paint up and bring to the table. All right, that's all I got. This is Jim the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me. I will be back very soon with my first game of Deth Wizards. I hope you'll join me then. Until then, everybody, take care.